Hey guys, this is Austin, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to identify areas in your business that might need automation. Now, these are things that your business might be doing every single day. We've seen these problems across multiple different industries and multiple different businesses, and by fixing these, not only will you save time, you will also decrease expenses, increase revenue, and increase efficiency across your entire organization. Now, the goal here is not to automate everything across your entire business. Some things are just not meant to be automated, but instead the goal is to identify the automations that would provide the most impact and business growth within your organization. So let's jump right in. So the first place we always try to look when we're auditing a business is where employees are spending most of their time across all the teams within the business. One thing that we find is a huge time suck and exists in a lot of different businesses is having multiple different systems that the employee needs to jump in and out of in order to manage their day-to-day tasks and day-to-day workflows. You have HubSpot, you have Slack, you have all these different systems together, and we find that employees are spending a lot of time just copying and pasting data, making sure that their CRM is updated and making sure this is happening. Not only is that super inefficient, but also you're spending a lot of time to train these guys to use and juggle all these different systems. Whereas if you could automate the data behind the scenes to where the sales team doesn't have to update the CRM at all, it just automatically gets updated for them. You have an AI listen to the call, it automatically makes call notes, it automatically updates the prospect status for you. The employee doesn't even have to log in or do a summary. Like, it's already done, right? So having systems in place like that, you no longer have to train employees to use some of these systems, and you're saving a lot of time and you're decreasing efficiencies between the two platforms. Imagine one platform has updated data, one does not. You know, CRMs get out of date really quick. With sales teams, they get lazy, right? So making sure that you have all those processes just happening secretly behind the scenes without them having to look at it can really help out a lot. The next thing that we always tend to look at is communication. Now, communication is extremely important in any organization, obviously, but making sure that you have streamlined communication channels and trying to delete as much communication as possible. We're a big proponent of not doing any meetings at all. In fact, we try to do looms as much as possible, and if we could even delete the loom and just do a simple text or email, that's preferred above even a loom, right? Why would we do a mandatory meeting with a team size of 15 people if 3 of those people don't need any of that information and 6 of those people could consume that information in 2 or 3x speed just watching a loom video, right? So streamlining communication can always help. It can 100% decrease inefficiencies across the entire organization, and it could speed up lots of stuff across the organization. Imagine if you didn't have meetings at all. Imagine what would happen if the team just knew what to do and they didn't have to communicate as much as they are now. Imagine how much time it would save everybody across the entire organization, not having to type those long emails, not having to make those long reports. Speaking of reports, report generation in general should be entirely automated. 90% of reports are just data, apprised with a little bit of analytics on the data itself, and all that can be generated by AI now. So having people create reports, you know, weekly or bi-weekly reports and things like that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It makes more sense to have people analyze those reports on a high level, but the generation of the reports doesn't need to happen. You also find the same with data entry. Anytime there's any sort of data entry, whether it's grabbing information from other websites, grabbing internal information, data being collected from the team, KPIs from the sales team, all of that data collection needs to be automated, and all of those reports need to be automated as well. Because, again, there's inefficiencies, people aren't perfect, they might collect imperfect data. Secondly, because if you can have all those automations already in place and those reports are automatically generated, you at any moment of any time of any day will know exactly what is going on with your business instead of having to wait 2 weeks for a report to be generated by XYZ manager. Another thing that is a huge time suck across a lot of businesses is customer service. Now, if you could reduce your customer service time by about 50% and reduce the amount of communications you and the customer have by about 50%, would that be a big impact to your business? Because one thing that we find is a lot of businesses, they aren't very clear with the clients, and they allow clients to open communication chains that don't exactly serve the business itself, and they cause a lot of friction when it comes to passing along the service. Now, this is a little bit more towards service-based companies, not so much product-based companies, but the theories all are applicable across both. Basically, what you want to do is figure out what it is the customer actually needs to know, and making sure that you portray that information in such a way to where the customer never even needs to reach out to the customer service team to begin with. The less human contact you can have between your business and the customer, the better. Yes, there are bespoke services. We are one of them, where we actually sit down with the customer or the client, and we will walk them through big processes together as a team. That's true. But that being said, when it comes to the development process, not much needs to be said. Every single time we push out an update to the application, the customer automatically knows because they get an email that an update was pushed to the staging environment. Having an automation like that is crucial to reduce friction and to allow our clients to understand what's going on without us having to really need to communicate. Also, making sure that they understand the process as a whole and what to expect can reduce friction and reduce customer inquiries moving forward, which in turn reduces customer communication and increases customer satisfaction. That being said, it's not like we're not going to communicate with the clients. That's not it at all. The idea is to reduce our customer service time the most that we can. Now, here are just a couple ideas of how you can audit different departments within your company. Obviously, you should go through every department and every team individually and audit their processes as a whole, and then go maybe even all the way down to the individual level and look at how the people are doing their day-to-day tasks and work and things that they could do to remove 30 minutes here, 1 hour there, and increase efficiency across the entire organization. Now, another thing you might want to look out for is to make sure that you have proper systems in place and not just SOPs, because a lot of SOPs, it's good, do this and this and this in this order, but if you could eliminate half of those steps by having an actual system in place, a program or something like that, instead of just a SOP where people copy paste things, then in the long term, you're going to be doing a lot better. Now, of course, if you wanted to set up a lot of these systems on your own, you could use Make, N8N, or Zapier. Those are really good options. And then if you want to be more advanced and do more solutions, more like we provide for our own clients, then you'd be getting into programming your own dashboards and connecting things via API like HubSpot or Salesforce, or just different systems, ERP systems, CMSs, CRMs across the entire organization, making sure that they all flow fluidly and that all information gets saved in one central point for the higher ups to be able to make the best decisions that they can. So if this video helped you guys out and you would like to do a deeper dive into some of these subjects and how you can practically automate some of these things, I do have a video, the 3 areas of your business that you can automate that will help you guys out. So be sure to check that out, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.